Hey everyone,
It's Chad Church,
and Nikolai Phelan.
and we are excited to bring to you our brand new podcast, Hullabaloo,
Cross-generational,
media consumption podcast
where two gay men
from different generations
watch movies,
read books
listen to music, and more,
to bridge Gen X.
and Gen Z. I thought that was pretty good.
Let's do another take.
Yeah, I'm coming at you to let you know that I'm performing my show, Fever Dream TV, in New York City, in the month of April. Yeah, Fever Dream TV and NYC. I'm going to be doing 5 performances, at the Wild Project as part of the New York City Fringe. Those dates will be April 4th, April 11th, April 12th, April 16th, and April 17th. You can get tickets at frigid.nyc or the link in my bio. See you there.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Hullabaloo, and this is a very special episode. I'm Nikolai Phelan.
I am Chad Church, and they're always very special episodes.
I know, but I'm feeling good about this one, man. I'm feeling good about this one. I mean, I'm currently in Berlin, which I'm loving. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. How are you doing, Chad?
I'm doing well. I am just, it's been a busy day, a little bit of brain damage, had to choose somebody out. The people that are re-releasing my book, they kind of pulled some gaslighting, your problem is, or our problem is your problem stuff, and I had to show them one of the many faces.
You're re-releasing your book.
Yeah, because I was not happy with the initial publisher and what they had done.
So you got another publisher?
Yeah, it's like this is like this hybrid publishing that like it's, half self and half, legitimate, like old school. These guys actually, it's not like, where when you publish through Amazon, basically, or when they use Amazon as the venue to print and stuff. There's a big company that does all the printing, and it's like print per book. That's the new way that all these people seem to be doing it. But this company actually gets you in the bookstores and all of that electronic stuff. So
Awesome.
yeah, so I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful so that I can be traveling to other places doing book signings or whatever it is.
That would be so fun. I want that. I mean, I've been querying my novel and haven't heard back from anybody yet, but we'll see.
It's a lot of
It's a
querying.
process.
I did like 1,800.
Yeah, but did you hire somebody to do it or something?
I got a guy off of Fiverr to use the list that he uses, and he said
You gotta send me that guy. I gotta get that guy. I need that guy. I need help. Yeah.
I'll go back and find him here. It's not like none of this stuff, whether it's trying to get the screenplay looked at or publishing a book, or I mean, it's almost like, oh yeah, you can do all this stuff. You just have to be Barack Obama.
Right. Yeah, that's the interesting thing, right? Is that the way it is now is like there's so much access that there's kind of like also now we're sifting through the sea of access.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like they say this with music too. Fitting what we've dealt with now is this kind of this sea of access where everybody can make a thing. And so now you have to make things really good, right? But so currently I'm at the Berlinale, in Berlin. So that's a film festival, and I'm here for the film market, but I'm also going to a lot of screenings. And I saw a movie today, which I won't give the name because I don't want to rip it to shreds, but I'm gonna say some like positive things and then also like the real stuff. I saw this movie and it was beautifully shot, 16 millimeter, wonderful texture, every single source of tension, every aspect of where a character, something went wrong for a character, would resolve itself within the next few minutes. Nobody was mad at each other longer than a few minutes. They're always kind of, he's angry, them, it's like that. It's like she drops her phone. Oh, the phone is cracked. Now she needs the phone. Oh, no. You know what I mean? It was like every single beat was interconnected to the very next beat. And this is something that we did in our early drafts because we were like, because it's a difficult thing to create an elegant structure to a screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
To sow the seeds early on for stuff that comes later requires a kind of almost engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes from pass after pass after pass after pass. And I think a kind of an intuition for it.
Mm-hmm.
But this film didn't have it. Was it good? It was fine. I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. It's a little bit generous. It took place in Brazil and it was lovely. It was a lovely film. But the character motivations, in my opinion, weren't clear and they weren't like anchored to anything.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything to say? No. I want a monologue here. I was kind of hoping you'd jump in, Chad. You're killing me. You're like, yeah.
Was waiting to just hear you tell me about it. What would you say has been your best experience so far in Berlin? I've never been to Berlin. I love Berlin. I've only been to like Munich, Frankfurt, and like Bamberg, and but not.
Yeah.
I've not been to Berlin, and it's on my list. I hear it's an incredible place.
You gotta go. You gotta go for your YouTube channel, man.
All
You
right.
gotta go.
All right.
We gotta go. We should go. We should go separately and then keep meeting up. I think that's what would be fun because here's my take on Berlin. First off, I love it. It's a vampire city. So you like Barcelona, you like Prague. Do you like New York?
I've never spent any real time in New York. It's
So crazy to me that
yeah.
you have never.
I used to think when I was a kid, people would be like, "Oh, I'm moving to New York." These friends, they moved to New York, and I just always was like, that is one big city. I'm not a city mouse originally back in the day. I'm still getting, and the older I get, the less and less I am of a city mouse.
I love that. Is a city mouse a phrase or is it another Chadism? Because the things you say I've never heard, and I feel like somebody gave you a book of random things when you were a small child and said, "This is what everyone says," and you're like, "You held that close to you."
I have to try to remember what my friend Annie told me the other day. His mother used to say about, or his grandmother used to say about the use of words. It was absolutely brilliant. And of course, I didn't write it down. And now that I'm this age and beginning to suffer from like Alzheimer's or whatever it is.
No, you're not.
I'm not. Right. But I never, it always seemed to me, I just thought that like, I'm going to make it New York thing was like, well, I'd rather go fuck around with the folks out in Hollywood and see if they don't screw me a little less for a little less expense. It's kind of how I felt about it always. But, it doesn't, of course, I'd love to get down.
Did you like LA when you were there?
I did like LA. I was in Huntington Beach, so I had to take the 101 up the road or whatever for my acting classes and, blah, blah, blah. But I liked that it wasn't city. I mean, like my favorite city has been was Denver for a very, very long time where I lived. I really do like Pittsburgh quite a bit. But the older I get, the more I recognize that unless it's a European city, I have less. I love New Orleans. I'll tell you that. New Orleans is a city I can get down with and have plenty of time. But like the vibe,
I like a city with a vibe. I like a city with a goddamn vibe. And that's what Berlin has in spades. This is a city. I swear to fucking God, Chad, I have had the full Berlin experience. Berlin wanted me as its mistress. It said, I heard you've been fucking around with Prague and you're going to be fucking around with me because I fuck better. And that's true. Because I've loved Prague for a very long time, and I literally looked at Prague and I said, "I'm so sorry I'm breaking up with you." Like I legitimately, I'm like, I'm bewitched. I'm bewitched.
Well, what
I'm like,
is it? What is it about it that is doing this for you? What give me, you know,
okay, so I'll give you the real. So I'll walk you through it. I'll walk you through it, and then whatever questions you have or thoughts, like please jump in. I don't like it when I'm monologuing too much. It feels better when you're in it.
all right,
Okay.
I'll interrupt.
Okay. I love you. I love you. Okay. So here's the thing. So I get to this Berlin, and I've known a lot of people from Berlin for a long time. And so I understood the vibe, and I've always been told, like, Berlin is your city. Like, I know you're going to do well there. I mean, at one point I was a sex worker. I did make dark electronic music, right? So that was very like, I already felt like, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't understand how authentic it was, though. It's not an aesthetic here. It's not like it's literally cultural. Like that's the thing that blew my mind was I think I thought it was an aesthetic,
Mhm.
right? Like people were just like, yeah, I'm into Berlin, blah 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 blah. And I think that there are those people, but there is also like an actual deep authenticity where if that's your kind of thing, like if you can get down with the night and you're like a nocturnal person, like this is your city. It is at night, it's stunning, but it's super industrial. There's these giant buildings. I'm going for walks like I normally do, and I'm just surrounded by the biggest building. Barcelona is a very short city, so it feels good. And it's like I'm in a foreign land. And so I'm like living for it, and it's snowing. And I'm just
Nice.
like, wow, I like, we're not in Kansas anymore. Right. Then I went to Kit Kat Club. I've been having all these amazing experiences as part of the Berlinale, but also I've been meeting all my friends that live in Berlin and one of my love interests who yeah, well, I know. And the thing is, he's breaking up with his boyfriend. I'm like spilling this on the pod, but it's hard because I met him at Sonar, which is it's one of the best festivals in Barcelona. It is, I think they are no longer being funded by Israel. At one point they were, which was a real problem. People are really upset. That being said, it's an amazing, really good music festival. I met him at Sonar. When we would go out together, I think I told you about this. I just felt like I was at home with him.
Mm-hmm.
He's this Argentinian guy, and we just like walk around the city together. And I was just like, wow, I feel so safe with this person. And then he went back to Berlin, did his whole thing. But the reason we didn't like get together is it turns out, because he told me on the last day that, and this is in the summer, that he was in a polyamorous relationship and he had a boyfriend. And I was like, I don't want that. Like, I can't, I could maybe see myself being in I could see myself being in an open relationship. I couldn't see myself in a polyamorous one, especially if I'm the one entering.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like somebody having three jump ropes and then being like, now jump in and stay jumping. You know, it's like, I'm not gonna, it would be too much for me to figure out how to navigate.
Yeah, the dynamics there sound fairly complex.
Complicated. But so I'm here in Berlin and see him, but I text him and he said, I want to see you, but I have to give you the heads up that I've been breaking up with my boyfriend. So I may not have like the full emotional bandwidth to spend a bunch of time together. But he invites me to this party on Saturday, and it's this queer underground party. And I realized as I'm in this queer underground party that all of the best New York parties that I used to go to are just modeled after Berlin. That New York, the reason New York is the city that it is it has gone around the world
Yeah.
and said, I like that, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want this, and then it brought it all into one place and managed to fit everything there. But Berlin is doing it authentically. Like Berlin's not copying any other places with its club scene. It's the one. Like they're the leader. New York is beneath Berlin when it comes to nightlife, which is
Oh,
kind
that's
of
fun.
incredible. Yeah, because to think about the idea of New York, your beeping, by the way, is like becoming an iconic part of the Hullabaloo lore.
I'm
You
just
have
saying,
got to figure this shit out. It is insane.
I don't.
It's like
So this is
every episode is one beep from Chad's phone. I'm like, your phone wants to participate.
my
It's like,
phone. Well, my
hello.
phone participates like I don't know 14 hours a day is the problem.
Could you have your phone in a different room when you're recording?
I could, or I could just remember when I record, turn the volume off.
But does it still do anything?
Well, it does, and the issue is that it's clients, and I would, it would just be the volume would be off, and it would just light up and be like Brooksell or Roan's private number, or you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
it is my fault. I need to be more conscious of that. But honestly, when we get on this thing, 9 times out of 10, I'm like,
Yeah, we are totally running to the camera.
you know,
This is a mad dash to get on camera because yeah, okay. So I'll explain. So back to the Berlin thing. So I go to this underground party with him, and again, it was that same feeling of like I just feel so nice with this person. Like I really like him. And then so then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to get into Berghain, right? And so I decide I'm gonna go to Berghain, and everybody tells you to go like at 11 a.m. on a Sunday. I get there at 11 a.m.
let's explain what Berghain is, though. I think
Yeah, you don't know what it is, right?
I am not in any context now.
So Berghain is the best club in the world.
Like literally ranked the best club in the world.
It's like, and it's for good reason. Like it's really exclusive. The bouncers turn a lot of people away, and they base it on vibe, and they ask you in German, and so you have to answer in German to some extent, or you have to have a German friend. But sometimes it's better to be alone than to be in a large group. If you're a large group, they'll turn you away. They're really like these imagine these people, their entire job is to like psychically read you. And so the first time I went, there was a really long queue, and I was gonna get in. Like he read my outfit, he looked at me, and he said, "Bist du alleine?" Which means, "Are you alone?" And I was like, ja, ich bin alleine. And then he said, "Bist du alleine?" And I just nodded my head because I got nervous to speak German a second time. And he said, "No, sorry." And so I left. I had to go. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed. Like I was already coming from like basically I'd only had like a few hours, like I don't know, 5 hours of sleep, and then I went. And I kind of knew before I got there because I was like, the thing is, they say that there are Berghain fairies. So I really think that this is a true feeling. The next time later that night, you can try again, like 8 hours later, because the bouncers switch over. But if the bouncers turn you away, you can't show up again within the same trap. They'll remember, and you can get black. And by the way, if you're stumbling with your stuff, even in the coat check, they'll still kick you out. Or if you have too much stuff, it's super intense. So next time, right, I'm gonna try again. Like I was, I know that I have the Berghain energy because I'm a kinky techno guy. I like that crazy stuff. And I invite the darkness in. I'm not somebody who's owned by the darkness, but I am somebody who turns towards it, especially in my art. And so there's nothing that I was going to see at Berghain, and I was right, that I would be shocked or horrified by. If anything, I was just ready for it. So the next time I'm going to these other industry parties for the Berlinale, we're meeting all these different people. I crashed this one, and the person who hosts the party, I think he knew that I wasn't supposed to be there. And I'd met him the night before, and he came up to me, and I was just like, wow, it's a really wonderful vibe. It's like, amazing job, congratulations. And as he was looking at me, I knew he wanted to say something to be like, you're on the list, but he didn't. And then he just was like, I think I was just nice enough to where he was just like, fuck, like I can't. He couldn't get himself to do it. And I was like, I could see myself sweating, but I had a really nice time. Like
the
I didn't
Mr.
want any.
Incredible, the incredible Mr. Ripley moment.
Yeah, exactly. Very much this. And more than that, it's just one of those moments where you're kind of like, I didn't need anything from anybody at that event. I didn't come to the Berlinale or the Berlin Film Market with like intense wants. I wanted to meet people. I have some desires and plans for the year, but mostly I just wanted to expand not only my network, but just understand like what the industry is, understand what's getting programmed, like leave with a lot of knowledge, and also understand the next time I come around when I have that project, how to do it. So it's really like served me well. But after that party, it ends up being right near Berghain. which was kind of like in my head. What ends up happening is, as I'm at that party, on the way, as the party's kind of winding down, I'm thinking about going to Berghain. Going, I think I might go. I might go. I might go. I don't know. I meet this girl, Carlotta, and she's stunning. She's from Spain. She's these dark brows, and she goes, I think I might try to go and get into Berghain. And I look at her and I go, you don't say. And I go, I think we're supposed to know each other. And she goes, she's like, why? I go, because I've actually been saying that exact thing. And I had been. I've been telling people that I was thinking about getting into Berghain. So she goes, okay, well, is it? I go, it's not that far from here. And so we decide we're going to go together, but we're going to be separate. So we're going to each go alone. That's our plan. And then we won't
Ooh,
in
for
line.
Berghain.
Right. Exactly. And so we don't talk, like we're just like we talk beforehand and we make a rule. We go, if we both get in, I guess we're friends for life.
Nice.
And so we get there. We wait in the queue. It's a shorter queue than when I was there, when I waited 2 hours in the freezing cold just to get turned away. And then this time it's like 45 minutes, right? It's 9:30 p.m. on Sunday. We go through the queue and they send two people away. They look at Carlotta and they go, yeah. And then they look at me and he goes, petition, which means you're welcome, which means you can go in. And that was it.
That seemed a little bitchy with the way that they handled this. Let's see.
It
I'm not a fan of the wait in line to have some dude or chick tell me, I'm not good enough to get in. I did this. I've been in this, a number of times, and 9 times out of 10, I'll shoot a smile and, hey, I'm Crazy Chad, let me in. And they do. When I lived in Prague, they let me in the Roxy all the time, but we had like a dude my buddy was connected in some nefarious ways.
Yeah, you vaguely touched on it, but I don't think you're legally allowed to.
Right. I'm like, look over my shoulder here, the window over there. But so I used to get in there all the time. And then the big part of my life when I really didn't like this experience was back in the early 2000s. Everybody was going to Miami Beach, to South Beach for the party down there. And I wasn't everybody, but I'd like slip down there every once in a while, either with a friend or alone or like coming back from a trip or something. I'd be there. And it was I think it was like the Tiki Beach Club. And they would line all these people up and everybody's, looking fabulous as they can. And the person up there with the bullshit. And I'm like, it makes things feel it's like, like I'm not included because I'm not exclusive enough. And so I don't like that vibe. I feel like, you know what? We'll fill this place up until there's not enough room for anybody else. And then those people will walk out and we'll get some more new fish in the pool.
They won't. So here's the thing. Let me explain it to you because you know what the thing is, Chad? I had so many ideas about Berghain before I went in. And then once I was in, I said, oh my God, this makes. And once I think you understand it and you understand its ethos, you understand, like, I think from now on, I'd probably be able to get in. Like I'd be able to get back in. Because also back to the Berghain fairies. So they say that there are fairies called the Berghain fairies, which are often ways to describe people who get in all the time, or sometimes it's these fairies that will kind of bring you through the doors. And I think I felt them. Me and her, because you know what? It changed my mind. I was wearing an outfit, and this is when I said, I'm gonna get in after getting rejected, because this is the full Berghain experience. I had the full Berlin experience. I not only did I get the Berghain rejection, I got the Berghain acceptance.
Yeah.
I got the full circle. I got to feel the low and the high. So it was different. It was different. So here I am. I'm at the Berlinale. I go into this elevator and this guy looks at me and he says, you're very square. And this girl goes, square? And I go, square? And he goes, sorry, I meant dangerous. You look very dangerous. And I go, thank you. I'll take that compliment. And then I was like, that felt like the universe being like, this is better. Like my outfit was more ready because the thing is there's an actual sense of authenticity to the place because it's funded by partially or a big chunk by the German government.
The German gun.
Yeah, so this is what's amazing about it. Berghain is not like a for-profit institution. It's unto itself. It's for music. It's for music. It's only 28 to get in the door. 28 euro. Waters were 350. That's not so
No,
much.
dude, in Ibiza, it was like 50 euros to get into the lowest level joint, and then waters were like, I don't know, like $20 or something. I'm like, am I really paying this much for fucking water? No, take it
This
up
is it.
$5 and give me the vodka.
But it's because there's a commitment to the culture of the place. When I get in there, I go, this is a vampire sex orgy. The reason that that's it. It is, but it's when I say that, like I mean it like in the pure sense of the form, like you can't fake this. You couldn't just, yeah, like I'm so dark, like let me in, like you know what I mean? There's or you'd have to have already been fucked in a sling to have been able to get into Berghain. It's that debaucherous. It's
Okay.
it's a swingers club.
Oh man,
The bartenders were topless with pierced nipples.
wow. Wow.
It was amazing. And it's a mausoleum, 50 feet high of concrete, and it looks like a royal place. And when you're in that space, you go, this is the best sound system in the world. And everybody is so happy to be here because everybody identifies and recognizes that nobody else has this, can create this, can emulate this. That Berghain, like that
Or
special
necessarily
energy.
can get in.
Exactly. That those door people are the door people to heaven or
Studio
hell,
54.
depending on who you ask. Right. But it's that. It's like it's emulated after Peter and the gates of heaven, I think. It's
Joseph.
is Joseph the one that does it?
Joseph's
I've
the
been
one
saying
who
Peter
lets you
for
in
a
and
very long
does
time. Peter's the one. Who's Peter? Who's Peter? I've been making jokes about Peter and the gates of heaven for a long time. Peter has nothing to do with the gates of heaven.
Well, Peter sounds like it has a little bit to do with the gates of Berka.
No. It's Sven is the main guy.
No, I mean like poor joke.
It's a reference to dicks, right?
All right. Hey,
So
so
yeah, I know, no. I'll finish the Berghain story and we'll move on. Okay. So I know. I see the clock. It was amazing. That's what I'll say. It was incredible music. It was incredible energy. People, everybody gets inside, because you wear your outdoor clothes, and everybody gets inside, and a lot of people have backpacks and they change their clothes. And there's these like cubicles, these sex cubicles all over the place. People are like, yeah, they're like, and you're seeing stuff, and you're kind of like walking around. But it's like when you think about those exclusivity, right? When you think about the people they're turning away, the reason they're turning them away is because they don't want people to just go there and treat it like a zoo. You have to have business there. You have to be able to be like, this techno has to mean something to you because this is the like the gods of electronic music live here, and you can come face to face with them. And so if you're not aware or you can't honor that, you don't have any business here. And so there's these people who do this one podcast, Las Culturistas. They're doing Matt and Bowen try to get into Berghain, I think is what it goes. And I was thinking to myself, if they got rejected, it's because they had no business there. Their vibe is not the right vibe. It's not the right vibe. You can't be a Christmas albums person, and
I'm not going
maybe
there. Just so you know, I'm not going there. I don't have the vibe.
no. I'm just saying, like, I don't want to like shit on them or something, or you know what I mean. But the point is, what I'm just saying is, like, when you're there, it was like it literally felt like this. Like, this is it. This is the level. So you have to be at the level. This has to be something real for you. And you can't be here trying to discover stuff about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you can't be like, well, maybe if I get in there, I'll try. It's like they're like, go figure that out somewhere else. Decide if it's really you,
Exactly.
and then come back.
Yeah. Exactly. That's why I don't know. I'm a little demure, whatever it is, but that sounds like a little. I mean, I'm wild. Like I'll go party with the rest of them, but that sounds like I would that would be. I might have stayed a little too long at the county fair on that one and have to say
I loved it. Changed my life.
you are
Changed my
you
life.
are young enough and experimental enough, I think, or not even apparently the demands of this of Berghain to play that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's
to spin the wheel for sure.
yeah, that's I need to be on the beach.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of beach, there's a beach scene. So now we'll get to the proper podcast. Enough about Nico's Berlin trip. Though to be fair, anybody who knows me, I'm gonna probably be talking about this shit for a really long time.
Well,
so
it sounds like
be
it.
prepared to be annoyed.
Listen, 15 years ago, I probably would have been like, yeah, and where's the mullet? You know what I mean? I would have been like
Right.
all in, but like,
Wait, were you saying where's the Molly? Is that what you're?
yeah.
I heard mullet. I was hearing mullet. You go, where's the mullet? I go, okay,
That's the new way that's what all the kids are saying now about it, you know?
yeah.
Or I thought
Yes.
you were saying mole, like as in like the chocolate chicken Latin X, like chicken mole.
I've never had it.
I've had it like I think once or twice. Pretty good. Not, necessarily my thing, but anyway. I love the story. I love the adventure. I think that what a great way to, to take on. I mean, you went to the top of the place that you wanted to be in Berlin and made it happen, which is, what we all want to do at some level,
Yeah, it was funny. I could tell. It was interesting to know that you could tell. Like I could tell when I was going to get rejected. I felt it, but I didn't know yet that I had that intuition for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could tell when I was going to get in because I knew I felt the tap
Yeah.
and the alignment
Yeah.
because I was like, damn, I really want that, but I guess I'll try again. And I really feel like this entire trip, Berlin has been really like, Berlin is seducing the fuck out of me. Like, I don't know why she wants me here or what she wants with me, but I'm like, I'm all ears. I'm like, you're making some great offers. You've
That's
done it. Like, you
right.
impressed the fuck out of me, dude. And
Well,
she brought her.
the people of Germany, man, one of my best friends, Andreas, and my other dear best friend, Lucia, his wife,
Mhm.
are both German, and they are the most like when they say whatever it is they have to say, they mean it in its truest form. There's no like, nuance, no like kind of, let me soften this for you. No,
Right.
it's just like, no, I asked for a glass of water now. That means now
Right.
and a glass of water, and I didn't add
Yeah.
ice cubes. You know what I mean? Like they're so precise with things. And so,
The precision.
yeah.
Yeah.
And which is, why they make Mercedes Benz and BMWs and Audis, I suppose.
Totally.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, the German language, I find it very German men I find to hit really specifically well for me because of their honesty and the no nonsenses of it all is for me so it's so efficient. I'm such a time sensitive person where I'm like really obsessed with I have a lot of things I need to do and I don't like wasting time. It drives me crazy. So somebody who doesn't is like kind of has the same appreciation for that. I find that incredibly sexy and never having to read somebody's mind because they just like so I think somebody said that Germans are kind of like the autistic people of all the countries. So it's pretty a funny way to describe.
No
But yeah, I'm in
subtext with
agreement.
them. No need for subtext. They don't find it
Right.
efficient. Well, speaking of time,
Yeah. Let's move on. We're moving on.
This week, I think it was a pretty interesting kind of stumble upon in a way. I had suggested to you that one of the old classics that I remember seeing that was done quite well. Whatever happened to Baby Jane? And upon
Yeah.
looking at this, to find the film, I also noticed that there was a remake done in 1991, and it had the Redgrave mother and daughter sisters, and Vanessa.
Yeah.
And
It's his
so
sisters,
I've
yeah.
always had respect for their work, and I thought, well, this is going to be interesting. They're going to put together a real, bang up, remake on this. And then I said, the suggestion was, hey, Nico, what do you think if we review both the old and the new? And you thought that should be good. Now, looking at it, why don't you, if you want to share what we found?
No, you gotta. It's time for some Chad monologues, baby. I want to hear what Chad's got to say.
Well, looking at this, I did not look at the reviews. I simply looked at like, okay, here are these two films that were done at different times. I like the idea of balancing one off the other and figuring out what they look like in comparison to each other. Where you tend to go right to Rotten Tomatoes and like where's it ranked? And I don't. And so later you informed me that, well, I don't know, the new one doesn't look exactly like a lot of people spoke highly of it. And
A lot of people even spoke about it. 300 reviews, and the average is like 10,000 or something crazy.
so we were kind of, digging our way out with that. And it has been probably literally 2 decades since I had seen the original. And the original is a blockbuster filmed in 1962. And it's about these two sisters who are actresses, and they grow old together after one starts with the career as a child as baby Jane, and she's very successful, and she kind of gets the whole family on the road to stardom. And then what happens is the older sister ends up, or the other sister ends up doing better. I mean, I wasn't quite sure which sister was older. I don't know if they really, led to that or hinted at that. So what ends up happening is the older sister becomes quite well known. Everybody loves her of the day. And then there is this car accident in which the other sister ends up supposedly paralyzing her sister. And that kind of ends her career because she's also a drunk, and everybody blames this accident on her. And then what ends up happening is Bette Davis ends up taking care of Joan Crawford through the rest of their lives in this house in LA. And Davis is absolutely a nutbag, an absolute like crazy, evil, sinister, and then
Amazing.
sweet and happy and just kooky, as nutty as a cornflake, or as a, I don't know,
Such a lived-in performance. Like,
yeah.
it's really like when you go that far out, when you kind of go out to outer space as in those kinds of characters, like she did in this instance, I think it can become super easy to start to feel performative, or to have the wheels kind of spin off, right? Because if you even blink once, you're kind of donezo,
Mhm.
And it's hard to believe she was able to play any other characters after this, because this feels so distinctly like her. Like, it's hard to even imagine her as anything other than this, because it's so like singular, it's so real, it's outstanding.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And then to see how Lennon Vanessa Redgrave just absolutely. So one of the really enduring qualities of this film is the black and white and the sharpness of that black and white.
This is the thing. That story is black and white. I don't know why, but there's something. It's also because of her makeup, I think. It's because of the brows. It's some like it's a film that belongs in black and white.
Yeah.
And when you bring it to color, when they try to bring it to color, it doesn't work.
It looks like crazy. It doesn't look like planned crazy. You know what
It doesn't feel like a world is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is it feels like a crack house. It feels like crack house vibes,
Yep.
which it comes across more grungy than deranged, you
Crystal
know?
meth and broken homes.
Kind of vibes, exactly. So in a way, it just becomes quite. It's almost too visceral and repulsive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whereas there's something noir, stylized, aestheticized. Even the music, though, I found to be very fascinating. The mirror shot in the original when she's performing in front of the mirror, well, he
Yeah, yeah,
plays the
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, yep.
one of the most amazing things I've ever seen on film. I said, this is just unbelievable. It's outstanding. It's outstanding. It's crazy to me that that I hadn't seen this film yet. Like, this is my first time seeing it. And I was just like, yeah, this movie fucking
I
rocks.
am
Like,
so glad that like this have opened this up to you. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, yeah. I loved it. I just think it's awesome.
the
I think it's rock solid.
the I think the real my first part of the movie and the best part of the movie for me is when she feeds her sister the rat, and then in the new one she feeds the sister her, or doesn't even actually feed the sister that the sister's got in the cage, and
Right.
it's just because I think about if you had somebody, I'm getting older, right? At some point, somebody may be in my home, like, making sure that, I can live a daily life or whatever. And it's just so crazy because of how much power somebody could exercise over you as they're busy doing, the undercover crazy thing that breaks out into the straight up crazy ass thing.
This is the thing that I found so fascinating about the old one is that her character is like childlike and demure and then straight up evil and also conniving. She's very conniving. Like to the forging of the forging of the checks is crazy.
And the phone, when she's on the
The
phone,
phone when she does the voice, it's amazing with the doctor, and then she when she's kicking her, it's like it was brutal. I found this movie to be in many ways more disturbing for me than the Texas Chainsaw Massacre because the torture is not brief. It's her sister is living through like hell, like truly hell on earth, like the worst nightmare. And then she's got her bound up. The only thing that made me angry, there was one moment where I got really mad and I was very upset, was I didn't like the situation with the maid.
with the maid.
Yeah, when she puts the hammer down, it's like, I didn't like that. I also didn't like that she was a person of color getting fucking hit in the head with the hammer. Like, I know that it's of the times, it's like the white, violence against people of color being expressed through the 60s. But that made me really upset. I found that to be it was upsetting. It was frustrating. It made me angry because I just was like, why wouldn't you see somebody bound and tied with their hands covered, mouths taped? And you're like not gonna keep holding your weapon.
Yeah, yeah. You don't turn around to be like,
This is the thing. She's staring at her like it's like you look over your shoulder, you go, "Oh my god, bitch, are you insane?" You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't like that.
well,
I didn't like that. It was
a
giving.
black girl from today would not play that out that way at all.
I know.
She'd be like,
I don't think a black girl then would do it that way either. I think it was a reflection of racial prejudice, if anything.
mm-hmm.
They were like, here's our like I don't you know what I mean? I like it at that point it's like I guess you can't project that necessarily, but it was a little bit of a transparent plot device that I found like quite like frustrating, but of course it's of its time. That being said, asterisk footnote, we should be like, this is racialized. There's something, this is kind of fucked up. Look at how they're expressing this character. She's the one that stands up to her, and then simultaneously they make her dumber than Rob.
Well, and I'm going to give you credit for that observation in that it's interesting to me because they chose with the film in 1991 to also use the guy that the nurse for the sister there was also black.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting that they stuck with that, and maybe they were thinking like, yeah, let's really show that part of this, you know.
Right. It's like it's a little like it's just I think sometimes with white people, what we do is we don't think about it. We're not thinking. We go, well, that was kind of part of the story, and it feels comfortable, and we're not understanding why it feels right. We're not like, hey, you need to understand that they made the racism comfortable.
This is
So that way it could
this is also a little bit a part of the privilege conversation as well. Privilege is not having to think about things like that.
exactly. It's so people don't think about it. And they don't know that racism has to be comfortable in order for it to exist in your home.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be able to sit next to your golden retriever.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It has to be able to it must always have a seat at your family dinners. And so that means it has to be able to kind of sit at the table and use the right forks and right knives. And so we have to be able to recognize and kind of snuff it out and see those things and point them out. But for my big issue, you know what I think? I didn't think that the Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, because I watched them in reverse order, by the way. Watched the new one first and then the old one. And so the old one blows it out of the water. If you watch the new one without having seen the old one, my experience of it was that it wasn't necessarily a bad movie in that it was like a horrible movie. It was that it was a terribly paced film. The new one was paced so badly. Like it didn't make you interested in the characters. They always felt at a distance. And her like they were like she's like big crazy girl, you know what I mean? It's like I actually found Lynn Redgrave's performance to be endearing at points and really emotionally moving, but it was like the movie never fully managed, and the music in the new one was really bad. So it was like there were elements in both the editing bay and from the music side that I think really kind of held that film back, because I think that Lynn Redgrave, she gave a pretty solid performance, but it just it's being pressed against the original, right? Which is a very difficult place to be. It's hard to go up against a masterpiece and have something interesting to say.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, by the way, I met a queer producer who liked the new one better too.
Well, see, that sounds like
And then I met a
good mate.
different producer who liked the old, and it was very interesting to see that split. But the point is, just to not to do a callback to that, but I think that this film didn't do a good job of creating something that felt like it was in the 90s. You have to offer forth something. You can't just be like, it's in color and here's some good performances. Those are two of the most legendary performances. And are you using them as source material? Are you basing it off of that? Like I liked Lynn Redgrave's performance. Where I didn't wasn't so behind was Vanessa Redgrave's performance, because I think she's in the original. Joan Crawford is like, it's shocking how bad you feel for her. She really is like she's fully giving victim, and even with all the knowledge of how monstrous she was, I was feeling bad for her. I was like, she's going through it. This poor woman. She might have hit those kids with wire hangers, but take the tape off of her mouth and cut her down.
Well, she really felt like, to me, it felt like she really was she was naive and being tortured, like in that, like tortured, like not,
Yeah.
mentally, and like, am I wrong? Am I right about my sister? Like, and I feel like that didn't come off the same way in the new one. It felt
Right.
like, she was just, like, poor me, I'm just here and I'm trying to be nice with my crazy sister, and
Yes.
it just it didn't it wasn't full like I didn't really feel like she grasped the character the way Crawford did, because Crawford was
This is it. It's that the reason that Baby Jane works, the original, is because they said, this is deranged, we know it, and we're going to go there. She's serving rats, she's tying her up, she's hitting the maid with the hammer, and then she's going to perform in the mirror and sing badly. Like, it's like they're they're just like pa, 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 they came in and they just were like slamming on you, and it's crazy how upsetting it is. It's brutal. They go there, they go the distance. In the new one, it felt like they never made up their mind. And I remember my dad, I think I've said this on this pod before, that one of the best advice that my father ever gave me came from his creative writing. And his creative writing teacher told him, pick a side, pick a side, and pick it strongly. And I think that with good art, that's it. You never want to be in between places. You have to decide what you are, what it is, and when you do that, and then you press the gas, then we're in for a ride. Because people don't want to be trying to figure out what you think you're trying to figure out. Nobody wants to be there figuring it out with you. Figure it out, get it locked in, bring us in. Once you know what it is, then you can show what it is. If you don't know what it is, you can't show what it is. What you're going to show is the lack of not knowing.
And then the other thing they did in the new one that was less attractive to me is they had the dirty record guy that was kind of, oh, I'm a manager and I'm gonna revive your, like, his intentions weren't, like, you knew he was trying to get over on Baby Jane, and it felt gross. He had the two guys following him with the where's our money, or and it didn't connect to me to what was going on in that house. And in the original one, you are in that house, and everything that takes place outside of that house is a whole different thing. It's not it's got connective tissue to what's going on inside the house, but it wasn't like a separate story of this guy trying to be a scumbag and taking the old lady
Right.
and so forth. That was just something that happened to have happened with the old one, the piano.
Right. Exactly. That there's the amount of screen time is proportional to the significance of the character.
Yeah.
And in the new one, you're right. That's one of the cardinal sins, is when you make a character who doesn't matter too much. You have to be careful with screen time. And they're like, and it's true. The reason the first Baby Jane works so well is because it's so claustrophobic. Because when she's starving her sister, you feel that, and it's day by day. You're counting the days too. You're like, you have this internal sense within yourself of this. She's gonna die. She's gonna die.
You're
She's
almost
gonna
stuck
die.
in the house with her.
Yeah. You're glued to it. And so when she's out of the house, often is when other people are going into the house, and it's her chance for help. So the out of the house is the few moments she gets to try to fix her situation. So there's sense of tension. And besides that phone call with the mother, etc., when she's going to hire him at first, and even still, it's a call within the house, and it's kind of this picture into who he is, like a pretty efficient and effective way of letting us know who he is quickly, so that way we don't have to spend too much time with him, and we know who he is as he's kind of navigating this space. And I think it's a long movie. It's like 2 hours and 13 minutes or something. It really just traps you there, and it turns the knife slowly.
What's funny about this film is they showed this film to us, and I think you needed a note from your parents. They showed this film to us on like a Friday night before Halloween or something in the 7th grade. And
Wow.
I mean, like,
It's rated R, right?
it was rated, leave your motherfucking children out of this movie theater if you don't want
Right.
them to be affected in their life at that time. Now I think kids would watch it fairly, with who they've seen enough on video games that it might not have the effect, but it was really interesting because it was a big thing. It was like, are you going to the Baby Jane? Are your parents going to sign off on you going? And some kids' parents were like, no, you're not going. And some kids snuck. And I mean, like, it was,
They were desperate to see it.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, it affected me in a way for a while where I was kind of like that is some twisted stuff because it starts off a little slow, and it just kind of draws you, and then you realize, oh, okay, now it's later, and these are the two sisters, and they grew older, and they, ended up in this twisted situation. But I think for me, overall, it is probably it very well could still be. It's not a horror film. I mean, in so many ways, like we have today, but to me, it's a horror film. You know what I mean?
It's a psychological horror for
Yeah,
sure.
a
I think
psychological
absolutely.
thriller, maybe.
I would say horror.
Okay, horror.
I think it's you could say thriller. The other thing is I think it's so interesting to see how much is referenced from this. Like Misery. I go every device in the movie Misery to me is in complete deference to whatever happened to Baby Jane. From he's in a wheelchair because she breaks his leg, she traps him in the cellar, he is trying to figure out how to get out. It's somebody else who kind of gets him out. She kills the sheriff, shoots him with like a shotgun, I think. You know, there's a lot of these different things that happen that and the crazy, sweet and crazy, you know what I mean? Like I'm literally like Stephen King is like this movie. This movie must have really had a I'm like, did Stephen King okay, let's look it up. Stephen King, whatever, baby. Stephen King's Misery bears a strong thematic and structural resemblance to the psychological thriller, whatever happened. It's about being held captive.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if I were to pair this, like the original movie, with another movie, I would pair it probably with Misery. And Misery would be a good like sister film to be able to kind of, you
I
know.
think you're absolutely right. There you'll find no argument there with me. I think you're absolutely right. I think the two, it would be a nice pairing.
I loved it.
And so, yeah, so over here, I'm going to say I loved it. 1 to 5, I'm giving it a 5 for the original. The remake, it's gonna, I mean, they made a movie, I'd give it a 2.
They made a movie. Yeah, that's true. They made a movie. It just the old one I just found it was like what I also found to be really bad was the neighbors in the new one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was like, it was the worst acting ever. Like it was like despairing every time those neighbors showed up, and they're like, I was like, damn girl, somebody needs to tell her to tone it down. She's doing too much. I was like, she saw this as her one big chance, and she's like, she's being the iceberg to sink the high Titanic. That was too much. I would give it a 2.7 because I want to be a little bit generous to it because I don't think it was like so, but it wasn't good, and it didn't necessarily need to be made. It was giving TV movie all the way.
Exactly. Exactly, it was. It certainly was. Well, I would suggest to anybody that, any of our 33 million viewers, I would suggest
And I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5
for the other.
for the
Okay. Oh, wow. Interesting. All right.
yeah.
I think that I would suggest watching both. I mean, I really think it gives the dichotomy of the two is something to really witness.
I would do the old one first. No, the new one first, and then the old one.
Yeah, I think you
Like
did.
save the best for last.
Yeah, you did it. I think you did it the way it should be done. Wait a minute. I did it. I actually did it the same way, but I knew what the old one was going to be like, but I did not realize, like, I was really taken. It was probably remastered or whatever, but it was just so crisp with the black and white, and it just gave it a whole new feeling for me. Like, it's something that I could watch and end up paying, what is it, $20 to go to a movie these days?
Yeah.
It's something that I would pay that kind of, movie money to go see now.
Yeah, I agree. I think and it would be like money well spent. It's truly, truly like one of cinema's great gems. There are so many incredible moments. It's awesome. It's just awesome. The ending, awesome. On the beach, her dancing around, holding the ice cream, her sister kind of laid out. It the my only quandary was with that maid moment, and I think besides that, it manages to subvert expectation and continually surprise. It's it's an incredible, yeah, it's a masterclass from those two.
Well,
Um,
what would we say about what we have coming up in the future?
what do we have coming up in the
Well,
future?
we got a
Remind
couple,
me.
we got some stuff, I think, you know?
Yeah. Right, right, right. We're gonna do The Little Prince next week.
Yeah, The Little Prince. And then we are
Hmm.
also gonna work on what was the hockey one that you were telling.
Oh, fuck. And then we're doing Heated Rivalry. That's right. Heated Rivalry. This is gonna wait, are we doing Heated Rivalry before The Little Prince, or is it?
I think we were gonna jump to The Little Prince because it's
Yeah,
out
yeah,
of the
yeah.
movie.
It's a book. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so Little Prince, Heated Rivalry, and then we got a couple of documentaries coming at you pretty soon.
Yeah. So it should be
Yeah.
fun. This is one of the things that is so important here. And if I say it every time, then, you know, suck it up and enjoy that I say it every time. But it really is, as I say, enjoy it. This is about the joy of getting out of our daily heads of what, you know, is going on in the world and, you know, the crazy we don't have to watch in the movies, the enjoying stuff that was out there that we used to probably enjoy a lot more often, and that just does bring me such joy, and including being able to spend this time with you and our review of this stuff, and even the chit chat we have around how we see these things from two
Yeah.
different perspectives.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the beauty of it is that like escapism is only effective if it brings you closer to humanity when you come back. Like one should only leave to come back closer to oneself and others.
Here.
If you're constantly escaping, then and you're constantly, then it's an evasion of self,
Mhm.
right? And that is not necessarily healthy.
Mhm.
However, to be able to offer, the goal is to offer a place for not only intellectualism and critique, but conversations and bridges built and joy and fun and laughter and great conversation and ideas.
Here.
Um,
Here.
here,
Here.
here.
Well, I think we're at that time maybe where we're a
Yeah.
little bit of from us to you at Hullabaloo.
From us to you. Oh, wait, don't we split it up, girl?
Well,
We have to do. We have to split it up.
I was taking the stage.
Okay. Well, okay, okay, okay. Oh, but I mean, lead it. You can lead it.
No, that is no. From I was
To you.
at Hullabaloo. Love you.
Love you too. It's fine. It wasn't our best, but we've got other ones. Yeah, another take another time. Okay, love you, man. Peace out.